Hello, third grade. Happy Tuesday, and we're getting going on our reading today. Today, we're going to read our small reading book story. So you need your small book, should say Readers Writers Workshop right here, and we'll be on page 34. It'll look like this. This week, our essential question is, what can traditions teach you about culture? So you see a family right here in this picture that they're sharing traditions. My family and I live in Alaska. Today my grandpa is teaching us how to drum and use traditional Yupik dance fans. Right? So we got 3 points about traditions. 1, traditions are passed down in my family. 2, traditions help me learn about my culture and customs. 3, my family's traditions make me proud. So think about your family. What traditions does your family have? Now today on our Zoom call we're going to talk about that. What traditions do you have as a family? For example, my family's tradition, we always had traditions on the first and the last day of school. On the first day of school, we always got up extra early and went to breakfast before school even started. So we'd go out to eat at a restaurant for breakfast at like 7 a.m., 6 a.m. before school got going. Then on the last day of school, we would always go out for ice cream as soon as my mom picked us up from school. We'd pick up my dad from work and then go get ice cream. What traditions do you have with your family? Go ahead and turn the page. We've got 8 new vocabulary words that we're going to use this week as we learn about traditions and culture. The first word that we have is celebrate. Now, if you celebrate something, you're doing something special. Like, for example, it looks like this little boy's doing something special for the 4th of July. Maybe going to a parade, maybe watching fireworks, something special. Our next word is courage. If you have courage, it kind of means the same thing as that you are brave. Now, it's more difficult to have courage in a tough situation. For example, if you look at this firefighter, that might be kind of difficult to have courage, right? As you're fighting fires to help save people. But that's what we think of when we think of courage. Next word is disappointment. This guy looks disappointed about rain. I love rain. So if it rained, I wouldn't be disappointed, but why do you think this guy's disappointed? Maybe he wanted to go play outside, and now he's disappointed because it's raining and he can't. Disappointment if you're sad about something that you thought was going to happen. Next word, precious. Precious. If something's precious, it's really, really special and important to you. Now, if you had this kind of locket or whatever that is in this picture, would it be precious to you? Probably not. You don't know these people. I don't know them either. But if those were your grandparents or something like that, that would probably be very precious to you, something that your family had. Next word is pride. This little boy grew these vegetables in his garden, and he is very, very proud. He's showing pride because he feels good about the hard work that he went to help those vegetables grow. Next word is remind. Remind, when you remind someone of something, you make them remember something. Like, for example, I always remind you to put your name on your paper, right? That would be an example of a reminder. Next word is symbols. Symbols, this is a symbol of our country, right? It's the American flag. It shows that you live in the United States. It's a symbol of our country. And lastly, tradition. We kind of already talked about that. Tradition is something that you've been doing for a long time. All right? Now, today we're going to read our story, The Dream Catcher. We're going to learn all about Peter and how Peter learns about his culture. Okay, so we got The Dream Catcher. What can traditions teach you about culture? Read about how Peter learns about his culture. Right here, follow along with your pointy finger. Peter walked home from school. Salty tears ran down his cheeks, and his stomach hurt. He didn't know what to do. Grandmother was waiting for him on the porch. "What's wrong, Bien?" said Peter's grandmother. Bien was the Ojibwa name for Peter. He called her Nokomis, which means grandmother. Peter looked up. I have to give a presentation where I talk about a family tradition. I know we have lots of beliefs and customs. Can you remind me of one? Nakomi smiled and nodded her head. Come with me, she said. Peter followed Nakomi's. She went to a closet and stretched to reach the top shelf. She pulled out a small box and blew away the dust. She handed it to Peter. Open it, she said. Peter opened the box. He spotted a wooden hoop inside. It was in the shape of a circle. String was woven and twisted around the hoop. It looked like a spider web. A black bead sat near the center, and feathers hung from the bottom. Peter wiped away his tears and smiled. This is a dream catcher, said Nakomi's. Our people have made these for many years. Circles are symbols, right, examples of unity and strength. Let's hang it over your bed tonight. It will catch your bad dreams in the web, and your good dreams will fall through the center. Maybe it will give you the courage to do your presentation. Can I take this one to school? Asked Peter. No, Bien, said Nakomi. This dream catcher is precious. I got it when I was your age, and it means a lot to me. Peter felt disappointment because he wanted to share the dream catcher with his class. We could make you one, said Nakomi. I'd like that, cried Peter. Nakomi and Peter worked together and made a dream catcher. That night, as he gazed and looked at the dream catcher over his own bed, he made a plan. The next morning, he told Nakomi his plan. I'm going to show my class how to make a dream catcher, he said. That's a great idea, said Nakomi. Let's celebrate after your presentation. I will bake corn cookies, and we'll have a traditional Ojibwa party. Peter shared his dream catcher with his classmates and showed them how to make their own. Peter didn't feel nervous or scared at all. He felt pride in his culture, and he felt pride in himself, too. Think about what tradition Peter learned about. Well, he learned about the tradition of having those dream catchers. How did it help it? It gave him courage to tell his classmates all about that when he had to do his presentation at school the next day. Now, tomorrow we're going to get into some of our comprehension skills, comprehension strategies, vocab strategies, and genre. So tomorrow we'll go over this part of your book. We're going to go over our vocab worksheet on our Zoom call today. So if you wanted, you could get a head start on it, but we'll go over it today when we meet on Zoom. Good luck on the rest of your work.